Have you ever stopped to think about what separates a good hotel stay from a truly unforgettable one? It's often the things you don't even notice, that check-in that feels completely effortless, or a special request that's handled seamlessly, almost like magic. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how that magic is made. We're going to dive into how to master guest flow, turning a whole series of complex procedures into a flawless symphony of service.
Hello and welcome. As a hotel AI expert, I've had a front row seat to how operational excellence truly forms the bedrock of modern hospitality. So, I am really pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to this part of your online learning journey. Our goal here is simple: to support your professional growth in this incredibly dynamic and exciting industry.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture, the art of guest flow. Then we'll actually follow a guest's entire journey from that critical first impression all the way through their stay to that final lasting touch point. After that, we'll peek inside the manager's strategic toolkit to see how it all works. And finally, we'll connect the dots to show how all of this builds a solid foundation for your success. Okay, let's start with our core concept, the art of guest flow. And I want to be clear, this is so much more than just a process or a checklist. This is the operational backbone of the entire hotel. So what do we really mean by a guest flow system? Well, think of it like the hotel's master plan for every single guest journey. It's a workflow that's strategically designed with 4 key promises in mind. It has to be efficient for the staff, it has to be accurate for the hotel's records, it has to be secure for the guest, and above all, it has to create a completely seamless, almost invisible experience. And right at the heart of all this is the front office manager. I really love this idea of them being like a conductor, leading an orchestra. They're the ones responsible for overseeing these really intricate systems and making sure every single person on their team executes their part flawlessly. That's how you create that perfect harmony of service. Now, let's get into the opening notes of our symphonies, that all-important first impression. This is, without a doubt, the most critical moment. It's where the hotel sets the entire tone for the stay, and you know what? It often begins long before the guest even walks through the front door. Now, this might look like a simple list, but each step is a masterclass in precision. It all kicks off before arrival, with staff reviewing bookings and special requests to really personalize the stay. The warm welcome, that's the human touch, but it's immediately followed by precise verification for security. Then comes a smooth transaction, the right room assignment, and finally, the absolutely critical last step, updating the property management system in real time. That one action, that single click, ensures that housekeeping, room service, and everyone else knows exactly what's going on, instantly. Right, so this all sounds fantastic in theory, but what happens when a massive tour bus pulls up or an entire conference lets out at the same time? How in the world do you manage those high-volume arrivals without completely sacrificing the quality of that first impression? This is one of the core challenges for any front office manager. And here is the strategic answer. See, a great manager doesn't just react in panic. They have a plan. They're not just working harder, they're working smarter. Just look at these solutions. Dedicated counters for groups, digital tools for pre-check-in, express options. They are actively controlling the flow instead of just being drowned by it. Okay, so the guest is checked in, but the symphony isn't over, not by a long shot. The second act, if you will, is all about orchestrating a perfect stay, and that requires constant, often invisible, coordination happening behind the scenes. What's so important to understand here is that the front office really acts as the hotel's central nervous system. They're in constant communication with housekeeping about room status, they're coordinating with maintenance to fix issues maybe before the guest even notices, and they supervise every little touch point to make sure nothing gets missed. It's all about preventing those service gaps before they can ever happen. And now we arrive at the final movement of our symphony, mastering the checkout. This is the very last impression you leave with a guest, and trust me, it has to be every bit as flawless as the first one. This final impression, it's all about trust and efficiency. It starts with a perfectly accurate bill. Any mistake here can sour the entire stay. Then clear communication to avoid any awkward surprises. The payment has to be seamless. But look, it's not just a transaction. This is the perfect moment to ask for feedback, to invite them to join a loyalty program. And it all wraps up with a warm farewell that makes the very last memory of their stay a great one. So, how does a manager make all of this happen so seamlessly? It's not magic, right? Let's pull back the curtain a bit and look at the strategic toolkits. These are the essential pillars that support the entire operation. Technology, of course, is a massive part of the modern toolkit.
The property management system, the PMS, that's the brain. It provides that essential real-time data. And things like mobile apps and self-service kiosks, they're incredibly powerful tools for managing those crazy peak periods. But here's the key. Technology isn't here to replace the human touch, it's here to free up staff so they can provide more of it, focusing on personalized service instead of just administrative tasks. And this chart really says it all. The front office doesn't work in a silo. It can't. It is the communication hub for the entire hotel, constantly coordinating with every single department. A breakdown in communication right here can create a ripple effect that disrupts the entire guest experience. But let's be real for a second. You can have the best technology in the world, but it's pretty much useless without well-trained people. And that's why continuous, professional training isn't just a good idea, it is non-negotiable. Your staff has to be masters of the hotel's procedures, its technology, and its communication protocols. And, just as importantly, they need to be prepared for anything. And let's be absolutely clear about one thing. Security is not an afterthought. It's not just another box to check. It is woven into the very fabric of the guest flow. From the moment an ID is verified at check-in, all the way to the emergency protocol staff are drilled on, guest safety is the absolute priority at every single step. So finally, let's tie all of this back to your future. Why does mastering these systems matter so much? Well, because it's about making the leap from operational excellence to true career command. Think about it. The ultimate contribution of a great front office manager is just immense. They drive efficiency and financial accuracy, which hits the bottom line. They enhance guest satisfaction, which builds loyalty. And maybe most importantly, by creating a system that really works, they empower their entire team to succeed and to deliver their absolute best work every day. So what is the big takeaway here? Mastering these systems isn't just about learning a single job. It's about fundamentally understanding the engine of the entire hotel. This knowledge is the building block for a successful career. It positions you to lead complex operations and to become a truly strategic asset to any property. By understanding every note, every instrument, and every single transition, you'll move from just managing tasks to actually creating a beautiful, seamless experience for every guest. So, the only question left is this: are you ready to conduct your symphony?